Hi, Drew?
Yes, Mr. Freewell. How you doing?
Freewell.
Freewell. I'm sorry, Freewell.
Yeah, I'm great. Thanks for taking some time to talk.
Welcome to the world of Skype.
Yeah, wow, this is cool. Very neat. I can see you crystal clear. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, everything's great. Everything's perfect.
Great, great, great.
So, what can I do for you?
Well, what you could do is go ahead and take the SAT for my son, and we'll be done with all this.
Great, no problem. Sign me up.
Okay, perfect. I'll let him know. Thank you.
Nice chatting with you.
That would be easy. Anyhow, thanks for your time. My wife and I recently met with Miss Bickoff at CDS to learn about Ryan's PSAT scores, and she told us that we should maybe explore some test prep for him before he takes the tests this spring.
Great.
So here we are.
Okay, sounds good. Tell me a little bit about Ryan.
Ryan's a great kid. He's a hard worker. He does well in school. His best subject is math,
Okay.
which he's been good at all his life. He's pretty much a whiz kid when it comes to math.
Okay.
Very busy person. Plays 3 sports, basketball, football. He runs track. So that
Right.
takes him on sports year-round. And then he has his homework after school. He likes to play with his friends. And he's an all-around good kid. Just really busy, and I think starting to get a little bit stressed out about all this test prep, additional stuff, has to take these tests. So, that's Ryan.
Great. Do you happen to have his PSAT test scores from the junior year?
I do. Let me grab those. Here they are.
Great.
And
Yeah, let me know what his breakdown was on math, reading, and writing.
sure. Math was a 59.
Okay.
Reading was a 50.
Okay.
And writing was a 54.
Okay, what do you think of those scores?
Not great.
Really?
Yeah, that's the feeling I get. In school, Ryan's a great student. He gets mostly A's, especially, like I said before, in math is almost always A's, and I see a score like a 59, even though I don't really know what it means. I see his percentiles here, and I just feel like he should be doing better on a
Right.
test like this.
Well, if he's really strong in math, you would think he'd do better. But that's actually something very common that happens, is that students are very good in a certain subject in school, have always been, and then they get to these standardized tests, and for the first time in their life, they hit a wall, and they can't improve their score, and they wonder why. And the reason is because these tests they're kind of unique. They're not tests of content. They're not testing what he knows in math. They're actually testing his ability to read questions carefully that are presented in an unfamiliar way. So overall, this test should be looked at as a reading test. And judging from Ryan's score of a 50 on reading, my guess is that he's not a huge reader. Am I right about that?
Well, yeah, he reads his books from school.
Right.
And he does well on those scores. But if you're asking, is he a reader? Like, does he come home after school and homework and athletics and friends and sit down and read books? No, he doesn't.
Right.
And maybe that's could be part of the problem.
Right. Well, it's an obstacle. It's definitely an obstacle. Students who've been reading on their own really enthusiastically from day one are at an advantage often on these tests, because you think about it, it's a 4-hour test and there's tons of text, and even the math is presented in a very wordy way. So it's definitely to his advantage to start working on a couple of longer term goals, which is building his vocabulary and raising his reading level.
And you talk about these longer term goals, yet I think he has his first SAT test coming up in March. How do you tackle these kind of things?
Well, that's right. The first chance usually for juniors is March, but you want to look at this as a long-term process for sure. March is only the first shot. The second shot is usually in the spring, in June, May or June, and then the third time, most people are doing it now, is the fall of their senior year. And taking the test 3 times, whether it's the SAT or the ACT, is respectable. And so there's time. There's definitely time if you can kind of get started in some way, whether with a tutor or on your own, of really preparing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, from what we've heard, there's the option of either taking a class or maybe taking
Right.
Doing private tutoring.
Right.
And Ryan's older sister, Sarah, who's up in Gainesville now, a few years ago when she was a junior, she took one of those classes with one of those bigger companies, and it worked for her. She actually did well, well enough to get into Gainesville, which was her first choice.
Great.
But she was a very motivated, organized person whose number one goal as a junior and kind of a senior was to get into college. And I feel like Ryan has all of these other distractions that are good, but I'm not sure if the class would be better or if some more focused process would work.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, you just kind of, that's what it is. A lot of students can get lost in the big classes, for sure. And if they're not super self-motivated about this, you know, the class may not be the best idea. For some kids it works, for some kids it doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, like in this whole test prep situation we're in right now, what does Ryan think about all this? Like, where is he? Is he on board? Or is it more like you and your wife are deciding that now's the time to do tutoring?
Right. It's interesting because Ryan's never had tutoring before. And so I think this idea of a tutor to help him with something that's school-related or education-related is new to him and maybe a little bit odd.
Yeah.
But he's aware of the fact that tutoring can help him get his scores up, and I think with the right type of tutor, he could really get into it.
Yeah, I mean, you said he was an athlete, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
so he probably responds well to a good coach.
He loves his coaches. Ryan adores all of his coaches.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay. So then with the right kind of tutor, that could work. You know.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and you mentioned it sounds like Ryan's really busy. Also, you know, in the IB, he's in IB, right?
Yeah, and you know, I talk about the sports keeping him busy, but he has a heavy workload at school.
Right.
This year seems to be the busiest he's ever been. He has assignments, you know, constantly. He's working on different school class assignments, you know, after school. He has unlimited amounts of homework, it seems. And I know it's all for a good purpose, but I'm a little concerned that with tutoring on top of athletics, on top of schoolwork, this could just become some kind of overwhelming process for him and not be helpful.
It totally can. It totally can. A lot of students have felt a lot of stress when it comes to the junior year with the SAT and everything. But test prep doesn't have to be stressful. You know, and it's great that you're kind of attacking it now and thinking about it now rather than waiting until like a month before the last chance, your senior year, which a lot of parents do. And then trying to cram for a test that's not crammable. So it's good that you're starting early. And, you know, he definitely can work on these and improve these things, for sure. It's just about finding a rhythm that works. And I like to think of good test prep as like going to the gym. You go to the gym, you want to do your, you know, you have your 20, 25 minutes on the treadmill, your cardiovascular, you do it, you're done, you don't think about it again. And, you know, if a student can be doing 20 to 25 minutes of SAT work every day or every other day over a period of time, whether it's with a tutor or on their own, like, they're going to see great results. It's just pretty, you know, and it's not stressful.
You kind of make the process sound manageable with you know, a little bit each day. I like that idea a lot.
Yeah, time management, right?
Well, listen, this was enjoyable. I really appreciate your time. I'm going to speak with the missus, who obviously makes a lot of the decisions, or all the decisions.
All right.
And, talk to Ryan about it.
Okay.
And we're going to get back to you, but I really appreciate your time, Drew.
Yes.
And thanks for... And just this Skype thing is... I have to say, when I first started and first signed on, I was a little bit skeptical, but you look like you're sitting at the table right across from me right now. The sound is great. I'm really a believer in this, and I know it would go a long way in the convenience factor, because
students love it. Students are doing it more and more, and they really appreciate being able to tutor kind of without their shoes on in their bedroom.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
True.
Yeah.
It's true. Hey,
all
listen,
right.
I got to run. Thank you.
Take care. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Okay.